I get this question all the time. Hey, I'll start with my console-only gamer. I'm somebody, I only play games on console. I probably own multiple consoles, but my question to you, Phil, and the Xbox team is, how is this vision that you have actually better for me as a console gamer? Because I see things like my exclusives going on PC, which erodes some of the exclusivity that I feel like I have on Xbox. I see the PC people and the PlayStation people getting to play games without buying an Xbox One. That feels bad to me. So I want to talk directly to that customer. Talk to them every night on Xbox Live, but I want to talk directly to that customer and talk about why our vision is actually great, I believe, for the console gamer. I'm going to start a little bit in the weeds on something called the Universal Windows Platform. And we talked about the Universal Windows Platform as the development platform we're embracing for gaming across multiple devices. And just so we get the taxonomy right, the Universal Windows Platform, which I'll probably shorthand to UWP here in a second, allows Universal Windows applications, this will be the only math in the talk, Universal Windows application, UWAs, to run on Windows 10. And that is our focus going forward, is building out a complete gaming ecosystem for UWAs. The things that we think this does for the console generation is we're allowing ourselves to decouple our software platform from the hardware platform in which it runs. I think all of us that have been in the console gamers for quite a while know that at the end of a generation, we've all done this. We get the cardboard box out, we put our old console in there, a bunch of old controllers, all of our old games, we stick it in the closet, hoping that someday we'll get it out, the nostalgia factor of playing those games again, and then we buy our new console and a whole new library of games. Basically, every time a generation shift happens in console gaming, it's had the tendency to invalidate every game you've ever purchased and require a whole new purchase motion, which isn't great for gamers. It's great for innovation at that step function, but it's not great that we invalidate the games that we have. The other thing it does on the hardware side, and we see this all the time in the console generation, is you launch a piece of hardware, a spec for hardware. We're still selling Xbox 360s. That's a hardware design that was developed basically 10 years ago. And it's still doing well. I love the fact that Xbox 360 customers are still buying Xbox 360s and playing on those consoles, but we see in other ecosystems, whether it's phone, whether it's PC, that you get more of a continuous innovation in hardware that we rarely see in console, because console locks our hardware and our software platforms together at the beginning of the generation, and then you ride the generation out for 7 or so years while other ecosystems are getting better, faster, stronger, and then you wait for the next big step function. For us, when we look at console and the console space, I believe we will see more hardware innovation in the console space than we've ever seen. We'll actually see us come out with new hardware capability during a generation and allowing the same games to run backward and forward compatible, because we have a Universal Windows application running on top of a Universal Windows platform that allows us to focus more on hardware innovation without invalidating the games that run on that platform. We can effectively feel a little bit more like what we see in PC, where I can still go back and I can run the old Doom games and Quake games that I ran so many years ago, but I can still see the best 4K games come out, and my library is always with me. Hardware innovation continues while the software innovation's able to take advantage, and I don't have to jump a generation and lose everything that I've played on before. Other constituents of gamers, which is actually easier for us to address with our strategy, and frankly is probably the biggest group, are people that just play games. Sometimes I play games on a PC, sometimes I play games on a console, and frankly there's a lot of times where my friends list being in separate places, or my inability to make progress on the same game on these different screens, it just isn't really putting my needs at the center of what I want to do. So as we bring Xbox Live across both platforms, as we allow for things like cross-play and team to play together, as we open up business model innovation so people can sell content on one device and actually have people consume it on another device, all of these capabilities really unifying the PC gaming space with the console gaming space. And our vision has probably been most positively reacted to by this group. The group that's a Windows gamer maybe during the day and a console gamer at night, looking at what we're doing through the decision making for our console and our focus on Windows 10, and understanding that focusing on both of these groups where you want to play, putting your decisions and your library at the center of what you want to do, is a fundamentally better experience for that group, the group that wants to play on multiple screens. Recently, we launched Tomb Raider in the Windows 10 store. And if I focus on this group, the group that we've heard most vocally around this launch, it's from the PC-only gamer. The people who are looking at the capability that we have in our Windows store and with UWAs and giving us feedback on what's working and what's not working. This has been a great journey, a journey we've started. Obviously with Microsoft, we have decades long of history building PC games, going back to Adventure and Flight Simulator, but we also have some missteps along the way. The number of times I see games for Windows Live brought up in my Twitter account whenever we're trying to make a move into PC gaming, you know, it's staggering, I guess. But we live based on the decisions in the past of what we've done, and we know we have a lot to prove in the PC space. When we first came out last January and we said we're going to take PC gaming and that we're going to take a focus on PC gaming that's as important as it's ever been inside the company, I got a lot of feedback of prove it to me. And we're still in that stage. The thing I want to say about our focus in this area is, one, it's obviously incredibly important to the company. The company, Microsoft Windows, is a critical franchise to the company. Frankly, already today, when we look at the people who are running Windows 10, over 40% of those people are playing games on Windows 10. We see that already. We know that those devices get used to go play games, and we want to make sure, as the platform creator, that we work hand in hand with our partners there to make that the best ecosystem that we have. But let me walk through a little bit the launch of Tomb Raider in our store and some of the feedback that we received. I'll start on some of the positives that I saw. We actually put the game in the store, people could buy it, they could download and play it. And I know as simple as that seems, that's necessary for anything else to actually happen, and that was great. And we had a lot of people come to the store, buy the game and play the game completely successfully. When they looked at the performance of that UWA game on their box, they were happy with it. And frankly, Tomb Raider is an amazing game, so they were also playing a great game. That was an important first step for us. The feedback that we received around some specific issues that people want to see us address. And these are all in our roadmap. So I want people to understand we hear the feedback from the community and we will embrace this. There was support for multiple GPUs. It's something that people have asked us about with UWAs. Is this going to be a limitation of the UWA platform? The answer is no. We do support multiple GPUs in UWA. It's something we're committed to. We want to make sure the game developers have the tools at the right time so that we're able to support SLI and Crossfire and all the other technologies that are out there in the PC space. But we understand in order for this to work, UWA has to be seen as a fundamentally better way for game developers to build games, or we'll fail. So the feedback that we get from multiple GPUs is important for us. We got feedback on something like vSync and enforcing vSync, forcing teams, developers to turn on vSync. We hear that feedback. It's in our roadmap to fix this. We got feedback on overlays. We got feedback on mods. We got feedback on injection tools that people use to track frames per second, other things as they're running PC games. Our intent is to embrace the breadth of what makes PC gaming great and make sure that the games we're developing and the games that our partners are developing in our ecosystem deliver the features that PC gamers want. It's not about us bringing console games to the PC space. It's about us embracing what's great about PC gamers and the PC gaming space and ensure the games that we're selling and our partners are developing absolutely reinforce the PC gamers' expectation. Feedback on step one has been great. We'll have some more news about some other things that'll be coming very soon to the Windows 10 store, big AAA games. I'm sure we'll get a lot of feedback. We'll make incremental improvement every time, but we are committed to this space. The one concern I hear from people that I just want to stand up and squash altogether is this a passing fancy at Microsoft that we're focusing on the PC gaming space, or is this a long-term commitment? And as much as I stood on the E3 stage after getting my job as head of Xbox and talked about our team's commitment to making Xbox One absolutely the best Xbox console we can make,